Help us understand the pipeline for Q2 for IPOs. What do you see?
Well, the pipeline for 2024 is healthy. Q2, we will see. I think a lot depends on continued signaling from the Fed. You know, the market's expecting rates to start to decline in June. And when we look throughout the year and the cadence of the new issue market, I'd say Q2 will be healthy. When we look at Q1, I can say that compared to last year, the new issue market has issued over 2.5 times, with about a $9 billion raise so far this year.
Karen, you got some good, you got some bad. On the one hand, we have very strong growth. We saw that come out for the third revision for the fourth quarter, right? Growth is really good. UMich survey, really strong, but then you have that persistently high rate from the Fed that may actually get pushed out. Those cuts might get pushed out. What does that set up due to the IPO market?
Well, what I would say is that the new issue market is doing well and delivering great returns right now because investors are looking for new ideas. The markets have recovered pretty meaningfully from the lows, up over 100+% in many cases. Because they're looking for these new ideas, they're willing to step into the right transactions that they think will do even better when rates come down.
I am curious, Karen, about kind of the complexion of the potential listings that we could see going forward. One thing that I thought was interesting towards the end of last year, we started to see, or at least hear in the media, about a lot of foreign companies that were finally looking for an opportunity to come to the U.S. market. Alix mentioned Astera Labs, so that we got one there. And there's a few other high-profile ones that are kind of circling around. Do you think that's going to be a big driver of business this year?
It'll be a driver. We also had Kaspi, which was the first company to issue in the U.S. from Kazakhstan. It was a dual listing, and they raised $1 billion in capital. That came in January. And there's a lot of conversations happening right now with companies who are looking to access the U.S. markets. I think it's pretty well understood globally that the U.S. has the ability to really drive people's valuation in a way that can't happen on other markets.
But is that a switch from maybe what we were seeing a few years ago when China was still a relatively healthy capital market and you had some other options out there where people were maybe saying, okay, do we necessarily need the Nasdaq or the NYSE, or basically the U.S., I should say?
Yeah, I would say that the U.S. has the deepest pool of liquidity, the most investors, and very sophisticated investors who understand how to value companies. And companies have caught on to that. And when they start to compare the different marketplaces, the U.S. looks attractive.
Do you have a successful IPO? And I guess that we have to figure out what successful actually means. But to get an IPO out, do you have to have a tie to AI?
No, you don't have to. But I would say it is a big trend right now that everyone's talking about. And to be honest with you, so many companies, whether they are powering AI or using AI, it is a big part of the story in terms of productivity. Everyone does seem to have an angle on it in some way. And I do think it is going to be a real game changer for the economy when you think about overall growth here.
Do you think that that means we're going to see more technology IPOs, or where are the sectors that you think will see the most action?
Well, I do tech for sure. We are seeing a big bounce back in biotech, which is wonderful to see. There's been 9 transactions year to date. All have traded quite well. So that's really exciting to see. We're seeing more consumer as well as little energy, industrial, fintech. So it's pretty broad-based in terms of the pipeline. It's really a matter of when people feel comfortable accessing the market. And a lot of people are out on the road right now testing the waters, getting that feedback and determining whether they should go before the election or after the election.
Is that a factor normally, Karen, in normal years with regards to election cycles? Does that kind of squash things for a couple of months?
Probably not a couple of months, but it will drive probably volatility in the marketplace. And when you have increased volatility, that's not great for the new issue market. But what I'd highlight something you talked about a little bit earlier, the economy is really strong right now, and that's what matters most for all of these companies.
And at the end of the day, as these companies do make this decision to come to market, Karen, I do just have to ask you about the competition you have with your folks down in Lower Manhattan there. I mean, what is the prospect here? I mean, there used to be some pretty significant differences between the Nasdaq and the NYSE and why one company would choose one over the other. Do those differences still exist? They
do. And what I would say for NASDAQ and current trends and what you're talking about in terms of AI and biotech and others, people want to be aligned with innovation and growth. And we're very fortunate to be the brand where people find that alignment.